Hello everyone, welcome back to Believer Science Academy Bengaluru. This is everyday news analysis session. In today's session, we are going to discuss some 5 to 6 important articles from various newspapers and editorials. Okay, so do note the important points which I am going to tell today. Without any delay, we'll start the discussion. So the first article, it is taken from the Hindu editorial, which is written by T.S. Tirumurthy, who is a permanent representative or ambassador of India to the United Nations, New York. And he has written an article that is Pakistan at the UNSC, the points of its compass. Okay. From January 1, 2025, Pakistan will join the United Nations Security Council as a non-permanent member for its 8th term. Okay, you know about United Nations Security Council. In United Nations Security Council, there are two types of members. One is permanent members, who are there are 5 permanent members. That is, they are popularly called as P5 countries. That is USA, Russia, France, China, and England or UK. Okay, these are the 5 permanent members of United Nations Security Council, and then there will be 10 non-permanent members who are elected for the tenure of 2 years. And in now, Pakistan will be taking up the non-permanent seat from January 1, 2025. Okay, even though you are a non-permanent member of the UNSC, you wield sufficient power and you will power to discuss very important issues. So now half of the elected members of United Nations Security Council for 2025-2026 belong to the Organization of Islamic Cooperation, indicating significant OIC presence. Okay, Organization of Islamic presence is very increasing because half of the members belong to this OIC, non-elected members of UNSC. Then new members, including Pakistan, will replace the outgoing members like Ecuador and Japan, and will join existing members such as Algeria and Slovenia. Okay, this is fine. Now, so what should be what are the key focus areas for Pakistan? Okay, what are the issues which the Pakistan is going to dictate? First one is about Afghanistan and Taliban. Pakistan will aim to repair the relations with Taliban with the backing from Russia and China. So Afghanistan has been taken over by Taliban again since the withdrawal of USA and its forces. Taliban has taken over the Afghanistan. Now Pakistan wants to rebuild the trust among Pakistan and Taliban. This will be done with the help of Russia and China. OIC members are expected to push for a Gaza ceasefire and address the Palestinian cause. Okay, since Pakistan also belongs to OIC and Palestine also belongs to OIC, all those members will push for a Gaza ceasefire, and they will be criticizing Israel obviously. And then peacekeeping. Pakistan will leverage its position as a major troop contributing country to prioritize peacekeeping. And then India-centric policies. Okay, so this has been the Pakistan's default policy in international relations, that whatever the forum, whatever the convention, its action will be always anti-India. So similarly, Pakistan's default stance in the United Nations Security Council remains focused on anti-India initiatives. Okay, this is the focus points of Pakistan. Then what should India expect, or what can India expect from Pakistan? That is strained bilateral relations because of historical tensions mean limited collaboration between the two nations in multilateral platforms like United Nations. OIC nations with a close ties to India often back Pakistan's anti-India drafts in the UN. Okay, so we can expect some sort of resistance from OIC and Pakistan if there is any issue regarding India or any anti-India issue. Most of these countries are going to back the anti-India issues and not India. Okay, and then related to terrorism related sanctions. Okay, again Pakistan in its anti-India initiatives has tried consistently to shift the terrorist state label to India. Normally when you talk about terrorist state, a name which is synonymous to terrorist state is Pakistan. But what the Pakistan wants the world to believe is that it is not the Pakistan that is a terrorist state, it is instead the India that is a terrorist state. We should call India the terrorist state because India is providing the funds, training, etc. to terrorists in India and Pakistan. That is what Pakistan's stance is. But everyone in the world knows that it is a Pakistan which is a terrorist state, which provides ground for the training for terrorists and also funding for this terrorist. So it attempts to list Indian nationals under the United Nations Resolution 101-267 sanctions, which have been rejected repeatedly thanks to the support from US and allies. Okay, what is this United Nations Resolution 1267? It is a resolution which aims to designate an individual as a terrorist or any organization as terrorist organization. Okay, if a person is listed under this United Nations Resolution 1267, then he will be designated as an internationally recognized terrorist. Okay, and then the Kashmir agenda. This will be one of the major agenda for Pakistan. Pakistan is likely to push for discussions on Jammu and Kashmir through the backdoor diplomacy. China has historically supported Pakistan's Kashmir issue or stance in this one, but most permanent nations of United Nations, that is P5 nations, have ignored this. Pakistan might misuse the international forums to equate Kashmir with other global issues like Palestine. Okay, one of the agreements between India and Pakistan is that we should not internationalize Kashmir issue. We should not internationalize the Kashmir issue. We should use the Kashmir. We should resolve the Kashmir issue between India and Pakistan itself. But Pakistan on many times has breached this agreement between India and Pakistan, and it has tried to internationalize the issue of Kashmir. Okay, so this new election to UNSC, it is more likely to going to internationalize the Kashmir issue, and it is going to equate Kashmir to the issues like Palestine. They are going to say that India is committing atrocities similar to what Israel is committing in Palestine. Okay, this has already been seen by India previously. This has already been done by Pakistan previously. So we can expect the same thing. And this one is the use of Islamophobia. Okay, the recent word that is everyone is afraid of Islam, that is Islamophobia, has been misused, has been overused by many people. And Pakistan has weaponized the term Islamophobia to dilute anti-terrorist efforts and target India. Okay, any effort by India to counter terrorism has been uh, has been treated as Islamophobia by Pakistan. Okay, it has been used by the Islamophobia has been used by Pakistan to dilute India's anti-counter measures, anti-terrorism measures. Okay, and then attempts to introduce Islamophobia as a justification for terrorism in global counterterrorism strategies were thwarted by India. Okay, excuse me. Pakistan has previously used this Islamophobia to reduce anti-terrorism measures, but many times India has been able to overcome that. But we have to see how this is going to work out in coming days. However, OIC has gained some success in advancing this agenda through United Nations. Organization of Islamic Council has popularized this Islamophobia term, and it has tried to avert anti-terrorism measures in the name of Islamophobia. Okay, and then what are the challenges in multilateralism? Okay, according to other, there have been opportunities between India and Pakistan, but they have been missed. What are those? Are missed opportunities for cooperation. Both nations could collaborate on shared interests like climate change, sustainable development goals, peacekeeping, and debt relief for the global south. Okay, if both the countries, like some of the biggest countries of South Asia, can focus on issues like this, climate change, etc., it will have a positive impact on not just the both region, like both countries, but also the region of South Asia. Okay, the author says that instead of fighting between the two countries, they should collaborate on these issues so that we can develop both the countries. You can see the example of China and Japan. They have historically been a strong enemies of each other, rivals of each other. Okay, because of Japanese colonial policies, colonial era of Japan had like committed many atrocities on China. Okay, despite all this historical context, they are one of the two of the most advanced economies of the world, and their bilateral trade is so high compared to what India and Pakistan do. Okay, compared to even what India and China also does. Okay, they have sidelined all the issues related in the past, but have focused more on the climate change, focused more on economy, etc., saying that there is more benefit for both the countries in terms of economy. That is what India should also focus on. Pakistan's internal political instability and economic struggles hinder its ability to engage effectively in multilateralism. Okay, again, there is another issue. Even if Pakistan wants to engage with India, the anti-India elements in the Pakistan, which are run by the deep state. What is deep state? ISIS and the ISI and the army of Pakistan. They always run an anti-India agenda. Okay, there is always an agenda against anti-India in Pakistan. So because of that, it is difficult for the democratically elected government of Pakistan to engage bilaterally between India and Pakistan. Then bilateral issues taken to the United Nations. I already told you, India and Pakistan have previously, in many times, have agreed to not internationalize issue between India and Pakistan. But what the Pakistan has done, it has breached these protocols, and it has made in many issues between India and Pakistan internationalized, such as Kashmir issue. Pakistan recently raised the Indus Water Treaty at the United Nations, which is a bilateral matter drawing criticism from misuse of the platform. Okay, any issue which has like implication between India and Pakistan relation, Pakistan is trying to internationalize it. Pakistan is trying to portray India as a villain. Okay, that policy has already been used by Bangladesh. Now it is being followed by Pakistan also. Okay, this is given by this article. The editorial author is also very important, and the topic is also very important. You can use these keywords here and there, that is internationalization of bilateral issues such as Indus Water Treaty, such as Kashmir Treaty. Okay, use of Islamophobia as a deterrence against and like counter terrorism measures. These are some terms, key terms, which you can use in your mains answers, which will add extra value to your mains answers. Then second editorial, it is also from the Hindu. It talks about the missing spotlight on urban local government polls. Okay, given by Santosh Narbund and Mansi Verma, who are very participatory head of the participatory governance at Janagraha Center for Citizenship and Democracy, and other is manager for policy engagement at Janagraha Center for Citizenship and Democracy. Okay, so this is focusing on urban local governance. Okay, why urban local governance has not completely met its goals. Okay, why it has not met its potential. So we will understand what are the issues and what are the reasons behind this. Urban local governments function as a decentralized unit of governance responsible for the delivering civil services or civic services and improving citizens' quality of life. It is their mandate, that is to deliver civic services and improve the quality of life of citizens. The 74th Constitutional Amendment Act 1992 was meant to strengthen the urban local bodies, but its objectives remain unfulfilled after over 3 decades. Okay, 73rd and 74th, two of the landmark amendments of Indian governance. Okay, this introduced third tier of governance. Okay, this constitutionalized Panchayat Raj system, a rural self-government, and municipality system, that is urban self-government. Okay, it is not like Panchayat Raj system, municipality was not there before this, but this Constitutional Amendment Act constitutionalized these like instruments. The constitutionalized these institutions. Okay, it added third tier of governance to Indian government, Indian democracy. Okay, so the ongoing discourse on the one nation one election presents an opportunity to address the overlooked issue of urban local governance elections. Now, what is the issue related to simultaneous elections and urban local bodies? That is, there will be limited focus on national reports. There are limited focus on the national reports, like reports like the Parliament Standing Committee of 2015 and NITI Aayog's 27 discussion paper excluded the urban local bodies or urban local governance, citing their status as state subjects and the impracticality of synchronizing elections at the third tier. Okay, even in the simultaneous elections, urban local bodies or urban local governance has not been included in the simultaneous elections because they stated that it is a state subject. Okay, this raises some questions. And in 2018 Law Commission draft report echoed similar reasoning but acknowledged the challenges of aligning local governments and national elections, because issues at the local level are different, issues at the national level are different. So they say that it is not very beneficial for synchronizing both the elections. Then there is a refreshing perspective, that is the High Level Committee of 2024 recommended synchronizing urban local elections with state assembly and local elections post within 100 days. Okay, you can synchronize, but there should be a gap between both the elections, that is within 100 days. Then, so if these are the issues, these are the like outtakes of this article, there are certain outtakes, key takeaways, which talks about the current status of the urban local elections. So currently there are delays in elections despite the constitutional mandate of elections for every 5 years. Delays are rampant across over 60% of urban local bodies in India. This data can be used in your answer. Okay, according to article 74th Constitutional Amendment Act, there should be elections for every 5 years for urban local bodies and rural local bodies also. But in reality, more than 60% of urban local governments are not following practice. Okay, this violates the principle of decentralization and hampers accountability as citizens lack representation. Then post-election delays, that is, even after the election results, the formation of councils often faces delays. Okay, first and foremost, delays in elections. Then, after elections are conducted, there is delay in constitution of urban local bodies. For instance, Karnataka witnessed an average 11-month delay in operationalizing of municipal councils. Okay, almost an year after the election, even after the like, it takes 1 year after the election to operationalize municipals. That is how long the delay is. Then, disempowered state election commissions, that is state election commissions which are responsible for the urban local governance elections are undermined. That is, according to the CAG, that is Computer and Auditor General Report of 2024, only 4 of the 15 states assessed empowered their SECs to perform our like ward delimitation. Okay, so normally elections at the parliament and state level are conducted by Central Election Commission of India, but elections to the local bodies are conducted by state election commissions. Normally, these state election commissions are undermined in the sense their composition is not properly maintained, they are not properly appointed, etc. etc. issues are there. According to this one, only 4 of the 15 states have assessed empowered their SECs to perform ward elimination. Meaning, like delimitation is the sense that is it is allotting seats, then it is demarcating the wards. That is not been properly done in more than 9 states or 11 states. Okay, there are delays in delimitation often due to political interference or legal disputes or reservations in the timely elections. Okay, only after the delimitation is completed, the elections can be held. Because there is a delay in delimitation, elections are being delayed. Then, so the role of urban local governance in the urban development. Urban local governance or government bodies manage cities which contribute to 60% of India's GDP and are home to nearly 40% of the population, which is projected to surpass 50% by 2050. So that becomes the role of urban local governance becomes very important. The efficient governance through timely elections is critical for cities to drive economic growth and social well-being. Okay, so it is imperative or important for us to make sure that the urban local governance is efficient. How we can make urban local government efficient? By conducting regular elections. Okay, and then there is a need for reforms. According to the article editorial, there are certain challenges to be addressed. That is, chronic delays, administrative control by the state governments, and weakened state election commissions impede the electoral mandate and development needs. And decentralization, as envisaged in the constitutions, remain largely unfilled. These are the challenges. So, what are the proposed solutions? Solutions there are high-level committees roadmap and the Government of India's proposed implementation. A group aims to ensure synchronized and timely urban local elections. Okay, if you cannot conduct elections individually for urban local governance, you can at least synchronize it with the like one nation one election scheme. Then you can have at least continuous elections for these local governance bodies. Independent SECs empowered to manage delimitation and reservations are crucial. Okay, even state election commission should be made independent and should be given power to delimitate or conduct the delimitation process. Then, so there are certain national consultations. That is, government has announced consultations across country to prioritize reforms and promote vibrant local democracy. Okay, so some keywords, that is 60% of contribution to the like GDP, 40% of the population, and local governance issues, delay in elections. You can give the example, put the example of Karnataka, that is there is delay in 11 months even after the elections were done. These are certain issues which you can use in your answers. Okay, you can make note of this. Then there is an article in the Hindu in text and context which talked about Beijing's war against air pollution. Okay, it has said that initially in 2015, Beijing and Delhi had a similar air quality index, that is both are dealing with air pollution, but down the line, over 8 years later, Beijing has reduced the pollution by 1/3. Okay, 1/3 of the, whereas Delhi, the pollution keeps on rising. So they are given certain charts, that is comparing the air quality index between Beijing and Delhi on yearly average. In 2015, it was 130, 170, almost similar, but by 2024, Delhi has achieved 155, whereas Beijing has 90, like is 92%, only 92. Okay, Beijing has shown a remarkable improvement in the pollution level. Okay, that is not the pollution level, meaning controlling the pollution level. And then, according to source of PM 2.5 in Beijing and Delhi, in Beijing, 31% of PM 2.5 is coming from motor vehicles, 22% is from coal and fossil fuels, in the 18% from industry, 15% from construction and dust, and 14% from miscellaneous. Whereas Delhi, 59% is from motor vehicles, 20 is from core fossil, 0 is from industry. Maybe there is some mistake with respect to this data because industry also produce some sort of PM 2.5. Construction is 4% and miscellaneous is 17%. Okay, this chart 3 shows that some sort of elements have been or pollutants have been reduced. Sulfur dioxide by 83%, sulfur oxides by 43%, like volatile organic components by 42% and PM 2.5 by 59%. All these pollutants have been reduced remarkably in Beijing. Okay, this chart is very important. How Beijing has achieved this remarkable growth is because of the financial investment to control the air pollution. That is from 1.69 billion yuans in 2009 to 18.1 billion yuans in 2021, 2017. Okay, so they have increased or they have made so much of investment in air pollution. As a result, the pollution level has reduced. As a result, air quality has increased in Beijing. So there can be some sort of like ideas to be taken by Beijing, from Beijing to the Delhi. Okay, so in that is article we'll discuss what are the reasons why Beijing achieved this one. Okay, so Beijing's control success, that is in 2015 it was similar to Delhi. However, by 2017 Beijing had reduced the pollution by 1/3. That is just within 2 years. Challenges faced were urban rapidization, energy consumption growth, that is 74% increase from 1998 to 2017, resulted in severe emissions exacerbated by heavy coal dependencies for initial heating, residential heating. Okay, these are the reasons why the air pollution increase in Beijing. But Beijing has been able to counter this one. How? Through anti-pollution measures. Okay, there was a phased approach. The anti-pollution measures of Beijing spanned 3 phases. One is from 1998 to 2008. That is, first is laying the groundwork, and 2009 to 2010 implementing stricter regulations, and 2013 to 2017 intensifying efforts including regional collaboration with 5 adjoining provinces. Okay, because like similar to Delhi, here in Beijing also the pollution of Beijing is not just related to Beijing itself, it is also related to burning of other things in the surrounding areas. So they collaborated with the surrounding 5 provinces to achieve this one. What Delhi should do is Delhi should also collaborate with the surrounding states such as Haryana, Punjab, UP, etc. to achieve this one growth on. So what are the key actions taken? The key actions were transition to clean energy, that is ultra low energy emission renovations, alternatives to coal-fired power, and elimination of residential coal usage. These are the reasons why, like how they transition to clean energy, and reasons why the emission reduced. Then transportation overhaul, that is retrofitting of vehicles, scrapping heavy polluting ones via subsidies, and expanding public transport systems like buses and subways. These are being like practiced in Delhi also, but their implementation has not been completely successful. Then industrial regulations, stricter controls, efficient washing facilities, and video monitoring of construction sites. All these measures have resulted in better result for Beijing. Then financial commitment. Beijing's government increased investment 6-fold over the 4 years to support these measures. Okay, you also require financial commitments to achieve or reduce air pollution. So results achieved is reduction in major pollutants such as sulfur dioxide, nitrogen dioxide, volatile organic compounds, PM 2.5, etc. all been reduced. So lessons for Delhi is in transportation, develop a robust bus metro integrated system with improved affordability and last mile connectivity. Scrap old vehicles using subsidies. This is very important. You can use this as a point in your answer. Scrap old vehicles using subsidies and impose congestion or parking charges to discourage private transport. Create cycling and walking lanes. And with respect to energy, transition from coal-based power plants to renewable energy sources, incentivizing rooftop solar systems and electricity bill discounts. Okay, and then in regional collaboration, work with the neighboring states to collectively address pollution, similar to Beijing's cooperation with the adjoining provinces. All these points are very important. These points are very unique, and you can use these points in your mains answer. It is going to add very well, great value to your answers. Public engagement, that is raise awareness among the Delhi citizens to hold authorities accountable for better air quality. A shift in public mindset can build pressure on government to act decisively. Okay, so what are the key takeaways of this one is Beijing's coordinated strategy involving energy transition, transportation and industry reforms demonstrate that significant air pollution reduction is achievable. Delhi's challenges, though similar, require strong political will, etc. Current reality is The lack of collaboration between Delhi state and central government have hindered the meaningful action. And also there needs to be public and private measures are insufficient for addressing the root causes. So there needs public and private measures to be increased. So this is about Beijing article, very important article, especially from what is happening in Delhi, especially the recent articles regarding Delhi. This becomes very important. You can expect such kind of questions in mains also. So you can use these points as your substantiating points. Then there was an article that Stalin and Pinarayi Vijayan inaugurated renovated Periyar Memorial in Kerala's Vaikom. Okay, so this article is not important, but this one, Vaikom, Kerala's Vaikom, that becomes very important. Okay, because Vaikom is very famous for Vaikom Satyagraha. One of the main leaders of Vaikom Satyagraha was Periyar. As a result, there have been he renovated a Periyar Memorial. Who is Periyar? Like is the E.V. Ramaswamy Naikar. He is one of the forefathers of Dravidian movement in South India, especially in Tamil Nadu. And he is very important for both Kerala and Tamil Nadu also because he participated in Vaikom Satyagraha. So that is why it becomes important. Now, you will understand Vaikom Satyagraha, which is considered as a milestone in social reforms in India. Historical background is Vaikom Satyagraha was a groundbreaking non-violent agitation against caste-based discrimination and untouchability. Okay, don't get confused. Vaikom Satyagraha is not against the British. Instead, it is a social reform movement. So it was against caste-based discrimination and untouchability. It spanned from 30th March 1924 to 23rd November 1925. It unfolded in Vaikom, Travancore, which is present in modern day Kerala, but it was in Travancore state during that time. The movement was triggered by the prohibition of oppressed classes, particularly the Eesavas, from accessing the roads around the Vaikom Mahadeva temple. Okay, so it was initially a caste-based revolt. So Eesavas were a low-caste communities who were restricted from entering into or not entering the temple anywhere near the temple. They were also prohibited from using the roads around the temple itself. It emerged during the height of nationalist movement, intertwining social reform with political aspirations. Okay, the significance was the Satyagraha marked the first temple entry movement in India. This is very important. Okay, there have been many temple entry movements which have been conducted by B.R. Ambedkar and other important leaders. But the first temple entry movement in India was Vaikom Satyagraha. That is why it becomes very important. Paving the way for similar movements nationwide, it boldly challenged the centuries-old practices of untouchability and class exclusion, becoming a symbol of resistance against the social injustice. Okay, this is why it becomes very important. And who are the important leaders or figures behind this movement are T.K. Madhavan, K.P. Menon, and K. Kalappan, who are the prominent leaders who spearheaded the movement. And Erode Venkatappa Ramaswamy, that is E.V. Ramaswamy Naikar, who is also called as Periyar, played a critical role by mobilizing volunteers, delivering impactful speeches, and enduring imprisonment. Periyar earned the title Vaikom Veerar or Hero of Vaikom for his contributions. These kind of questions can directly be asked in the prelims, so do make a mention of it this one. Okay, and Mahatma Gandhi was also involved in this movement. He boosted the movement's momentum by visiting Vaikom in March 2025 and holding discussions with the leaders of different caste groups. Okay. Then, what are the strategies and initiatives started by during this moment? It was basically a non-violent movement. So the movement employed non-violent methods inspired by Gandhian principles, focusing on opening temple roads to all castes. Negotiations were initiated with authorities, including Maharani Regent of Travancore, to demand equal access to public spaces. So all these were successful. So impact and outcome is the movement succeeded in opening 3 of the 4 roads surrounding the Vaikom temple to all the people of all the caste. It sparked broader discussions on social equality and caste-based oppression. The temple entry proclamation of November 1936 by Maharaja of Travancore was a direct legacy of this movement. This is very important. The temple entry proclamation of November 1936. Though the movement ended in 1925, its impact was seen later also. And then the legacy and commemorations are the Vaikom Satyagraha is remembered as a turning point in the fight against caste-based discrimination. Perspective on the movement remained diverse, with some viewing it as a Hindu reformist initiative, others viewing it as a fight against caste atrocities. Memories like Vaikam Satyagraha Memorial Museum and Periyar's Memorial honor the movement's enduring significance. This Periyar's Memorial has been restored by respective governments. So this is about Vaikam Satyagraha. Okay. Then there was an article in Press Information Bureau about DAE Homi Baba Chair Scheme. Okay, so government schemes. So we'll see what is this. The DAE Homi Baba Chair for the distinguished scientists or professors was launched in 2021 by the Department of Atomic Energy. So about DOE or DAE Homi Baba Chair Scheme is aims and objectives are to recognize outstanding contributions by scientists, including the retired professionals in atomic energy and related technologies. Allow retired professionals to continue research aligned with Department of Atomic Energy. Focus on research in sensitive atomic energy technologies benefiting strategic sectors. Okay, so under this there are provisions and features. That is, it provides 2 lakh per month capped at the last round salary, that is honorarium, contingency grant of 76,000 per year for secretarial assistance, telephone bills, etc. Equipment and book allowances, that is rupees 1,25,000 for equipment and 10,000 for books. Okay, transport allowances, fixed monthly transport allowance for those without an official vehicle. Okay, see, so if you want to become a scientist in atomic energy or atomic physics, you can pursue this ambition also, because see all the benefits, 2 lakh per month. Okay, so very good benefits are there. So if you are interested in physics, if you are interested in atomic energy, etc., you can pursue this also. What are the structural mandate and implementation? Eligibility, it is open to distinguished scientists, including retirees involved in critical atomic technologies. Even you can be retired also. Tenure is 1 to 5 years, which is decided by a selection committee. Implementation, it is administered by Department of Atomic Energy, which is providing research and support to necessary infrastructure. So what are the present challenges? Is the financial constraint, that is budget limitations can affect the scale of research. Integration of new technologies, adapting to the fast changing technological landscape poses challenges to the scheme, and also coordination across stakeholders. There is bureaucratic delays, it is a age-old and evergreen issue in India, and communication issues can arise. So this is about DAE Homi Chair Scheme. Now we'll talk about Dr. Homi Bhabha. Who was Dr. Homi Bhabha? Homi Jahangir Bhabha. Homi Jahangir Bhabha was a pioneering Indian physicist and the father of India's nuclear program. He founded Tata Institute of Fundamental Research, that is TIFR, in 1945, and the Atomic Energy Establishment in Trombay, which was later called as Bhabha Homi Atomic Research Center, BARC, that is BARC in 1954. Bhabha formulated India's 3-stage nuclear power program in 1950s and emphasized the nuclear power for military and energy purposes. So Bhabha formulated, he was also the first Indian to receive Adams Prize in 1942 and served as the President of United Nations Conference on Peaceful Uses of Atomic Energy in 1955. Bhabha activated Apsara, which is Asia's first research reactor, at BARC 1956 and was awarded Padma Bhushan in 1954. So very significant individual from science in India and also atomic energy in India. Then there is a news about Durgadi Fort. This has been covered by many newspapers, The Hindu, Indian Express, etc. This is Durgadi Fort. So why it is in news? It is in news because the Kalyan Civil Court ruled that Durgadi Fort is owned by the Maharashtra government and dismissing the claims of Majlis-e-Mushawat Trust. Okay, so the trust, that is Majlis-e-Mushawarat Trust, filed its claim in 1976, arguing that the fort houses a mosque and a Eidgah, which is a prayer hall, alongside a temple dedicated to Goddess Durga. They claim that it should not be owned by the government and it should be given to this trust. So about the issue is not very important. You can use that issue in some main substantive points, but the facts about Durgadi Fort becomes very important. Okay, historical significance, because it dates back to 16th century. It was part of Bijapur-based Adil Shahi Sultanate, which is located in Kalyan. It mentioned in the British documents in 1570, housing a tomb, prayer hall and other structures. In 1760, after the Marathas captured Kalyan, they built a wooden temple dedicated to Durga Devi and named it Durga Di Kila. Okay, so initially it was a tomb built by Adil Shah, and then it was taken by Marathas, and they built a Durga Di Kila, Durga Devi temple. After British took control of in 1818, the temple ceased to function, and by 1876, the image of the goddess was also stolen. Okay, so you can just see the history. When Muslims were in power, they built their own thing. When Hindus became in power, they built their own thing. When British became power, they destroyed everything. Okay, that has been the history of India. And because of all the atrocities done by British and all the atrocities committed by various kingdoms during the India, now we are facing these issues. Okay, that is what happens when you have a long history. Then geographical location, located in Kalyan, which is in Thane district of Madhya Pradesh, Maharashtra, about 50 kilometers from Mumbai. Is situated on the elevated ground and offers scenic views over the Ulhas river. This river becomes important. And then cultural and religious impacts. The fort had a significant religious impact on both Hindus and Muslims. It originally housed a mosque and was later modified into included the Durga temple by the Marathas. The fort has a site of communal tensions, reflecting the complex intersection of religious identity and historical heritage in the Maharashtra. So whenever there is a like issue like this, it becomes very important or becomes national news. So I thought I will discuss this issue. UPSC may not ask about the issue, but they can ask the static part of this topic, that is these questions. So these are the articles which I found to be important, which I thought we'll discuss in the class. Mainly we discuss editorials. So there is very less from the prelims perspective, but very more from the mains perspective today. So if you like the video or like the session, then please hit on the like button and also comment on it, and please share with your friends. And if you're new to the channel, subscribe to the channel and also click on the bell icon so that you don't miss any notification. With this, I will end the session. Jai Hind.